My final project is entitled Digital Resource Collection for Elementary Science Educators. My name is Susan Unger. This project was constructed for EDC 534 Digital Authorship class in the spring of 2015 for Professor Renee Hobbs. First, I must set the background for elementary science education in the United States. Next, I will describe my attempts to build a wiki space for elementary science educators and give a rationale for the benefit to teachers and students. Rhode Island, along with 14 other states and the District of Columbia, has adopted the newly published Next Generation Science Standards. Standards provide a way to assure equitable goals for education despite differences in geographical location, gender, race, or socioeconomic status. So, if we should have standards to ensure equity and high conceptual and performance goals in elementary science, what's the problem? As Dewey stated, in order for learning to take place, the student must have an organic connection with a personal experience that he or she sees, knows, and loves. I teach science and health to grades K through 8. I began to realize that the science identities of my students changed as they progressed through grades. Kindergartners were all scientists. In older grades, students began to divide themselves as scientists and non-scientists. I began to ask, why is this so? Part of the reason I fear is cultural. Education was beginning to become more and more standards-based. After the Russian launch of Sputnik, government officials panicked. Personal relevance gave way to vocational relevance. Added to the culture of vocational relevance, science standards became linked to high-stakes testing by the Department of Education and local school administrations. Personal relevance in education became even more devalued. No more empty bucket. Today's student comes to us full of information from many sources. In a democratic society, educators need to model how to research and evaluate information. Can true academic growth happen if curriculum is standardized to the point of becoming impersonal and irrelevant? The challenge for elementary science educators is to break free of the outdated printed text and to see the outside world, to help students make meaning of the world both locally and globally and see their place in it. With time and other constraints, this task may be difficult for educators. Let's use science standards as a framework for learning, but allow students to drive the curriculum. Let's use digital media to engage students, but more than that, let's use digital resources to increase science understanding. Collaboration is powerful. When Gauntlet claims making is connecting, he points out that the mere act of creating a product connects us to our culture. My digital resource collection is only the start of what could be a dynamic and relevant resources for science educators and digital authorship for young students. This is the homepage of Relevant Science, a new wiki space for science educators that blends relevant aspects of digital media with science education. Visitors to the page are invited to become members and contribute to this resource. This is a portion of the lesson page where many of my favorite links reside. These resources are generally good for all ages and science topics. These links include short videos, digital interactives, and lesson plans. More will be added. Bruner tells us the education is a process of living and not a preparation for future living. This page of my wiki space shows a variety of ways that we can use science education as a basis for living. Using citizen science, everyone is invited to participate. The assessment page invites educators to get messy, as reported by Mills and Exley. If we are validly assessing science information in students and science understanding, why are we asking them to show us what they know in the same way? Perhaps this will be the most challenging page of the wiki for educators. Next Generation Science Standards place an emphasis on the practice of science. The Careers and Professional Organization page provides links to resources that enthusiastically promote science by offering career information, free classroom resources, and professional development. This page obviously contains links for Next Generation Science Standards and Common Core State Standards. This resource gives educators quick access to standards as a reference only. Students must drive the curriculum. The page also links to national health standards from the Center for Disease Control, or CDC. Barth says that when we collaborate, we borrow from pre-existing cultural ideas. This page offers links to collaborate with other students to incorporate and extend ideas from student research. As we know, collaboration is challenging, and students tend to step up to a challenge. In conclusion, science education is too important for our society to be practiced by a few elite or personally motivated students. Skills learned in science class are helpful to all citizens in daily life. In science class, we should never see this seen. For more information or to view the entire Wikispace and hopefully contribute resources, please visit relevantscience.wikispaces.com. Also, for a complete list of sources, please see my blog, relevantscience.wordpress.com.